Hello and welcome to our next debates. We have Max and Justin here, and they're going to talk to us today about economy from Obama and Romney's side. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
I will be representing Barack Obama of the Democratic Party, and I'm Max Lanning. Today we're going to be approaching the topic of the economy and seeing which approach would be preferable.
I'm Justin Calloway, and I'll be representing Mitt Romney for the Republican Party, and I'll be debating over the economy.
All right, great. Thank you, guys. Max, we're going to start with you. Why don't you tell us about your candidate and arguments in their issue?
First of all, former President Barack Obama, he may get elected again, or it may be Mitt Romney. Now, the economy is a complex issue. It details everything that goes on in the other issues around, such as the gay marriage, health care, what have you. But I'm going to be focusing on taxes, the outsourcing, and also which candidate would be better, preferably Barack Obama because of his strong morals and the way he runs things. Starting off with taxes, I believe that Barack is correct in saying that we have a plausible plan right now. He says that it would be a decent thing to raise taxes. No one wants to have them, but he finds it necessary if we were to get out of our debt. And he also wants to cut taxes for companies that are in the U.S. or moving to the U.S. This would help get money flowing again in our country. It would help get us out of the deficit, and it seems to be the best plan out of the candidates.
Okay, great. Thank you. Justin, your points on your candidate?
Alright, I'll make it straight to the point, and the first thing is our taxes and how much debt we are in. America is $15.7 trillion in debt right now, and Mitt Romney believes we need to stop paying China money when they're the ones who owe us, stop borrowing money from them. One thing Romney wants to do is set our cap spending at 20% of GDP. Romney wants to return non-security discretionary spending to below 2008 levels. Since Obama took office 4 years ago, federal spending has accelerated at a pace without precedent in recent history, taking us from an already $3.5 trillion in federal spending in 2010 to a projected $5.6 trillion within the next decade.
Okay, great. Thank you, Justin. And now we'll turn to rebuttal. So if Max, you want to start us off, if there are any points that you want to bring up against Romney?
Now, you said that our deductible has gone way up in the past, and that's true. When Barack Obama got in office, he was stuck with this big debt, and it just kept growing, but from then on, it's slightly gotten a little bit better. It's gotten a little lower. It's trying to bring it back down, trying to curb it on the downside, and there's been multiple jobs opening up, and that's where my plan will come into effect, where keeping jobs in the country will get better tax breaks, and therefore our economy should get right back in check.
Okay, Justin?
Just as you said about how you said you're going to put money back into the economy. Well, if we're already $3.5 trillion in debt with our federal spending, and as I said, that was in 2010, with projected $5.6 trillion within the next decade, how is your plan going to reduce the amount of the money that we're putting into our federal spending?
Okay, and we do have some time left, so if you want to respond and keep responding, that's fine. Feel more, or if you want to move to concluding statements, you can.
All right. Now, federal spending, my plan does involve cutting it, but it's necessary to spend it. We always will have to spend. There won't be a single point where we don't. But one problem I'm seeing with Governor Romney's approach is that the tax breaks and the taxes don't really amount. His plan is not to raise any taxes on any income. Well, if you don't raise any, you're not going to get enough money. We're already stacking up debt. We need to get out of it. And as I said before, no one wants to pay it, but it's just something we're stuck in. We have to do. There's no way around it.
Justin?
Alright, well, that was nice of you to say. Let me bring up the your trade, your failure with our trade right now. In August 2011, a group of Asian nations, including many with whom President Obama has stalled progress with on trade, announced their goal to create an economic bloc that would include China, not the United States. Well, how do you get away with doing this?
Now I'm going to bring that up in my next point. I'm going to save that for the second discussion, which is going to be outsourcing for the both of us.
Okay. Did you want to move to that point now?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, for outsourcing, this is tying in with my first point that we need to get jobs back into the United States. Now, outsourcing, Barack Obama made his point really, really clear. He wants jobs back in the United States. He doesn't want us outsourcing jobs. He wants to bring back all of the different companies that could be run in the U.S. and give us jobs, give us more revenue. And now, Governor Romney suddenly, before the change of pace, he was governor running for president. Before running for president, he changed his mind to unsure on whether or not he wanted to outsource jobs or if he wanted them in the U.S. Now why this is, we'll get a second to explain, but using the companies that we can have in the U.S., this will cut out the middleman, will cut out the spending, and it will help us to move, as he says, move forward. And I just want to bring up that we need to get our jobs back to the fullest potential. We are benefiting from having them in other countries. It's cost less and whatnot, but it's limiting our job market here, so we need to get that back up.
Okay. Justin?
Right. Do I need to like? Okay. One thing I want to ask you about, President Obama, is your labor and how you're treating our workers that have to do with unions. You want to pursue something called a card check, which is where you're going to strip workers of their rights to vote by secret ballot on whether or not they want to unionize or not. And one example I have of that is whenever you brought charges against Boeing, which is the nation's largest exporter, for opening a $1 billion manufacturing facility and hiring over 1,000 new workers, you decided to put charges on them for doing that. Why is that?
I'm not quite sure exactly what the issue entails, but I do know that you said that it did make jobs and that it did help people to get those jobs. So I'm assuming that he did it for the sole purpose of making jobs. Why that else would happen, I'm not sure at this point.
Okay. Any other concluding statements?
We have our third argument.
Do you have a third argument? Because of time, we're going to have to move to concluding statements.
Right.
Alright, well, brought up the points on taxes and outsourcing. I believe that Barack Obama would be the best candidate because he wants to get a strong middle class. He doesn't want to cut a lot of spending, but he wants to get our budget back in check, and he wants to get jobs back into the U.S.
Okay. Justin?
Mitt Romney has his 5-point plan that he plans on doing, which will rebuild the foundations of the American economy. He plans on basically rebuilding the principles of free enterprise, hard work, and innovation. His plan also seeks to reduce taxes, spending, regulation, and government programs. One thing that Obama failed to do was lower the debt ceiling when he actually raised the debt ceiling by $487 billion. And Romney's plan seeks to reduce that.
Okay, awesome. And that concludes the debate for today. Thank you very much, gentlemen.